What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. It's ended at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea nil, Manchester United nil in the race for top four, I guess. I mean, let's be honest. That title race has been dead and gone, in the words of Justin Timberlake. Dead and gone, dead and gone. Big tune that. T.I. and Justin Timberlake. Listen, it's been dead and gone for a long time. I think we're about 12 points behind Man City. I'm not even counting anymore. So that title race is dead and gone. So it's a race for top four. And it's a race that I don't want to be in. So I'm not overly disappointed. If you saw, I was on the football terrace and we had a bit of a back and forth first with Terry and KJ, probably less so KJ, more so Terry. Then a back and forth with the Chelsea fans saying that they were the much better side. Now, you lot let me know in the comments, innit, what you lot thought, who deserved to win, if anyone, who was the better side, was it a disgrace, all of that. Let me know in the comments. Before you do that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. First and foremost, the lineup. I think. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, I think when I looked at the lineup from us, I wasn't overly surprised. I was slightly surprised that Martial didn't start because I know we got our injuries. So I thought, based on the way he's gone in the last few games, even though fans have been saying Martial needs to be dropped, Martial needs to be dropped, including myself, I thought he was going to play Martial. I was pleasantly surprised that he didn't. Dan James has played well in recent weeks. He played well today. I think he deserved that spot on the right-hand side. By playing Dan James on the right, and Greenwood was on the right at times. But by playing Dan James on the right, as I thought anyway, would have been, you allow Rashford to play in his best position and you can put Mason through the middle. There's a bit more interchanging because Rashford was through the middle at times, Greenwood to the right, Dan James to the left. It was a lot of a changing around. But I think generally we had our best players in their best position. I was happy to see McTominay back. For me, McTominay was crucial for us in the midfield. If we had a Matic and Fred, I think Chelsea dominated the midfield already. And it wasn't like complete overrun. We didn't have a chance. But the way they were able to keep the ball with, he's got that Mount there, there's Ziyech, and then they had Kovacic and Kante. Kante was very good in breaking up the play and just knocking it on. We had to play McTominay, so I was happy to see him. Didn't have the greatest game, and as the second half wore on, I think he probably got a bit tired, a bit worn out. Didn't play brilliantly. Fred got booked. I think it was at the start of the start of the second half or end of the first half. I think at the end of the first half. So he was kind of on tenterhooks for the rest of the game. There was a moment where I thought he might bring down Mason Mount when he was running through the middle. And if, of course, he'd done that, it would have been red card. So he allowed him to go, and we were able to see it out. I think Chelsea were the better team. And this is a discussion that I was having on the terrace. Big up Mohammed Hussein said, Neeks, respectfully, you said on the terrace, someone needed to balance. Sharik Kiani says, today the players let us down. The passing has been shocking these last couple games. And CFC time. I only agree with Anita on TF on the football terrace. We weren't as great as other Chelsea fans said. Shane also says, to be honest, I think we should have went for it a bit more, but I'm okay with the draw. Their point suits us more than them. 100%, it suits us more than them. They are outside the top four. They are chasing West Ham. They're chasing Leicester. They're chasing us. They needed to win. They're playing Liverpool on the weekend. On midweek. Somebody's going to drop points, if not both of them. This was a game. And I'm not going to say need to win because I think they can still pass West Ham and still pass Leicester, especially with Leicester's injuries. But they need to win it more than us, 100%, because we're not in a title race. So forget that right now. I think they were the better side. They dominated the midfield a bit more than we did. And I guess the territory, they had more of the territory than us. But at no point really was I worried about conceding. Yes. What I say, Sharik. What I say, Sharik? I don't know what I said. Sorry, Sharik. Nailed the surname. Kiani. All right. But yeah. At no point was I worried about Chelsea scoring. I know they had that chance through Ziyech. Good save by David De Gea, who I've kind of backed this season to remain as the number one. Going forward is another discussion. But at no point was I thinking, Chelsea look dangerous. They're going to split us open. They're going to cut us open. I think we defended with a high line, especially when we had, obviously, Giroud was on the pitch. So for me, it was like, they're not going to run it behind. He didn't have Werner. He didn't have Pulisic. It was Mount, Ziyech, Giroud. No one's going to run in behind. I think Maguire and Lindelof especially did very, very well. Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka were good as well. But that was the issue. Defensively was the best part of our game, so we didn't concede. Cool, I'm happy with that. It's when you get over the halfway line, it's when you get into the final third, what you do with the ball, that's going to determine about who wins the game. Mohammed says, did you hear what the referee said about not giving the penalty? I did. I just shared it in my group chat a few minutes ago. Let me get the exact quote. So this is from Luke Shaw. He said, Luke Shaw, I even heard the referee say to Harry, if I say it's a pen, then it's going to cause a lot of people to talk afterwards. So he made that decision, even without fans in the ground, because they talk about how fans in the ground can influence decisions and that kind of stuff. And cool. But even without the fans in the ground, he's already thinking about the fan reaction, the media reaction, etc., about a decision. And maybe you're right that people are going to talk about it, but you can't let that influence your decision. You need to make a decision based on whether it was a penalty or not. We're going to get back to it anyway. But yeah, for me, it's when you get into that final third, what you do with the ball. And there was at least two, maybe three, at least two opportunities for Bruno Fernandes to play that final ball. None more so than Rashford. It was on the left in the counter attack, and the ball went out for a throw-in. He played it behind Rashford, where you have to play that final ball and you get into their part. You break their line, you get in behind the defense, and you possibly go one-on-one or have a good chance against the keeper. And at least two times, possibly three, Bruno missed that. And then right at the end, McTominay, what an opportunity. You got four men running into the box, and all you need to do is pass the ball right across the area, and it's behind everyone, and it gets cut out by the defender, and the chance is gone. My issue wasn't even the tactics today, especially in the first half. I think the first half was a good tactical game of football. It wasn't exciting. Everyone has to see an exciting game. This is Premier League football. Jobs are on the line. People have expectations to meet. You're not going to go out and say, let's just have a good game for the neutral. No, you're going to go out there to get a result that you need. Whatever the result is, get a result that you need. I think the first half was a good tactical battle. The second half, for me, I think Chelsea were more on top without really, really threatening. And we were, I guess, more content with sitting back and having to hit them on the break. Whereas in the first half, I think we were sustaining attacks a bit more and being in their half at different points. Like the first 10 minutes, they were on top. The last 10 minutes, we were on top. And in the middle, it was probably a bit of both. Whereas in the second half, I think they were dominant for more of the second half than we were. So, but we still created those openings on the break that we just failed to do. So we failed to execute. And that's where my issue was. It's those players in the big games, in the big moments, not executing how they need to execute. If we score at any point, then sitting back and trying to hit on the break isn't a problem. Shane says we were aggressive in the first half, 100%. We were pressing. They were pressing. A lot of the chances we created in the first half was from us pressing high and winning the ball back in their half and trying to attack. So that died off in the second half, and I think our threat level went down. Other than I would say about 2 or 3 moments where we probably should have played the final ball better. In terms of Tuchel, I think again it's a game I said that they had to win more than us, but clearly they weren't hell bent on going for the win. He played the back 5 as he does. He played Chilwell, who's more defensively sound than Alonso, so that shows his intent. But he did play Callum Hudson on the other side. Callum Hudson comes off, he brings on Reece James. So now you've got 5 defenders and Kante as opposed to Jorginho. So he's got 6 players whose primary job is to nullify the opposition. It was always going to be difficult. And there's a reason for it. Last season, we killed teams on the counter-attack. Killed them. And this season, teams are worried about it, as they should be. Arsenal, Chelsea twice, Liverpool, Man City, 0-0s all across the gaff because teams are worried about us on the counter-attack. We've dealt, Mohammed just said it. Oli got in Tuchel's head. Wow, not bad for a PE teacher. We have dealt with Tuchel on numerous occasions. He's actually beaten us at home in the first leg of that game in 2019 and 3-1 in the group stage just gone. We beat him twice away. 3-1, of course, in Paris and 2-1 in Paris again in the group stage just gone. So he knows what we can do. So he's not going to be stupid enough to say, let's just go out and attack. But they need to win more than us. So if you're going to have smoke for Ollie, you should have double the amount of smoke for Tuchel, because this is a game that they had to win. I'm not. Jeremiah said he sold down the fan base because of the whole Ollie out. Listen, let them have their opinions. Eugene says it. Pep played 2 DMs against us this season. They're giving us more respect. So what is up for us to do now? And as I said, everyone here, smash the like button if you haven't done so. What it's up to us to do now is to find a way to, yes, we're nullifying them, because other than the 6-1, it's an anomaly game, red card and all that kind of stuff, we've nullified them. But we need to find a way to win these games. And the thing is, if we're going for a title, these big 6 games are games you have to win. Not all of them, but especially the home ones you have to win. Top 4, the draws are fine. You secure top 4. You don't let them gain momentum. You don't give anything away, whatever. But in a title race, you have to be winning these games. That will come. No, that has to come next season. We solidify top 4 this year, more points than last year, blah, blah. Next season, we have to be in a genuine title race. And that means in these games, we have to be going more to win. And you may lose some. You may lose one game here because you went to get a win. But the game that you might have drawn, you get the win. So overall, over 2 games, you get 3 points instead of 2. That's the way you have to do it. Shane says Tuchel was aware of our quick transitions. That's why Kante and Chilwell, he knows how we play from past experience. This is why we need more. Jeremiah says this is why we need more players and people. Forget that Ollie wasn't backed in the transfer window. Ollie won't get backed by the owners. We do need better quality in certain positions. The midfield of McTominay and Fred is not going to dominate any top 6 game. So that's why we have to play in the way that we do. We know we missed Pogba today. Ramsey says, surprised that Martial didn't start despite Cavani not being available. I was surprised he didn't start. I was happy he didn't. Martial doesn't deserve to start, even with Cavani not being available. The front 3 that we went with, for me, was a correct front 3. Rashford, Dan James, and Greenwood, because Martial has been bang out of form. And that's just what it is. So Martial has to look at himself to say, Cavani's out, and I still can't start? So he has to look at himself in that, and I don't have an issue with that at all. Sharik says, yeah. Oh, Naumad said, exactly, we are not in the race, so don't lose. And top 4 is good. Next year we push on 100%. Sharik, it shows we are still in either a proper right wing and a centre back. Creativity and defending are our main problems. Adding Grealish for Pogba. Father says the PP positive from today. We are fine. Finally we get to see the lovely sunshine weather, and we got 1 week left before lockdown period is over. Yeah, there wasn't much positive from the game. I was looking to try to find out something from Tuchel in this game. Didn't really find out anything, to be honest. So, I mean, you plod on. You got Liverpool next again. See now, Chelsea go into this game against Liverpool as a must not lose, or even Chelsea go into that game against Liverpool in a similar position that we did today. Liverpool have to win. I don't know what the result's going to be in the end. I know it's 0-0 at the moment between Sheffield United and Liverpool. But Liverpool go into that game needing to win to close the gap. Chelsea go into that game like, especially at Anfield. I mean, especially at Anfield, like Anfield's even a fortress. But they'll be like, you know what? A draw's not a bad result. We're still confident we can catch West Ham, who are in 4th position, possibly even Leicester. Hopefully Everton don't go past us. Losing to Liverpool will be highly, highly detrimental for Chelsea. So we're going to see if any Chelsea fan or Liverpool fan, Chelsea fan, gassed about today. Oh yeah, Man United bottled it. Ollie bottled it. Well, let's see what you'll do against Liverpool, because you're going to be in our position. Because none of us are in a title race, so it's all about a race to top 4. There's a question that came up. How many points is realistic now? So if we look at, so we're on 50 points after 26 games. Let me just actually draw up Premier League table, game week 26, 2019-20. I want to see how much points we had last season at this stage. Premier table. Sorry, 1 second. I just want to see how much. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Yeah, I just want to see how much points we had last year compared to this year. We're all 16 points lower than our total of last season. So at this stage last season, we were on 38 points. We were 7th place, 38 points. This season, we are 26 games played, 50 points. Last season, 50 points would have had you third because Man City won 54. And this season, it has us second on 50 points. So we are 12 points better off right now than we were at this stage last year. With 12 games left to go, so what's that? 36 points available. Of course, if we win all 36, we get 86. We're not going to win all 36. Let's say we go at about 2 points a game, because at the moment we're just under 2 points a game for the current season. 26 games, 50 points. So let's say we go average 2 points a game for those 12, 24 points, which will bring us to 74. I think 74 points is realistic this season, and that will mark 8-point increase from last year. And for me, the season after is when you have to go a 10-15 point jump to be in a title race. So 75, see, anything between 74 78 points I'm comfortable with. Anything below that I'm not comfortable with. Big up Wilson in the chat. Is I've got a feeling that Chelsea will get something against Liverpool. The champions are vulnerable defensively. They are very, very vulnerable, 100%. Sheffield United could even get something today, which will be highly embarrassing. Or Jeremiah says, all we have to do now is finish top 4 and get both FA Cup and Europa. I love Jeremiah's optimism. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. I love his optimism. If we win one of those, I'll be happy. Top 4 and 1 trophy, I'll be happy. If we win both, well, happy days, isn't it? Great season, but I can't see us winning both. You know, I have to be realistic. But I think today was important. If we won the game today, top 4 for me secured. A draw puts us in a good position, especially if Sheffield can hold Liverpool, puts us in a very good position. West Ham lost. Who did West Ham play? Oh, Man City, of course. West Ham lost. Leicester lost, and Leicester are struggling on injuries. And said if City won 54 points, that means their drop off last year wasn't that bad. Then considering Liverpool's, correct? Yes, yeah. Their drop off from the season before was nowhere near as bad as Liverpool's. Nowhere near, 100% nowhere near. And I think they still ended on like 81 points or so. Liverpool have just taken the lead actually, so that would put Liverpool. See, I don't think my thing's updated. But if they do win this, they would be on 43 points, so 1 point behind 1 point behind Chelsea. So then exactly. So Chelsea are in a sticky position. They go into that game and they can't afford to lose to Liverpool. They cannot afford to lose to Liverpool. Donny's injured. He was injured, yeah. So that's why he was on the bench today. There's a question from Smurf. What do you say? Ole Gunnar blood clot freestyle. I want to see a system. The football is getting me mad depressed. How can you say there wasn't a system? How can you say there wasn't a system? We played today. Oh, it's being it's being reviewed. Curtis Jones is being reviewed. But we played today. We pressed from the front. We pressed from the front, which is a tactic, which is a style of play, which is a system. We won the ball high up. When we were passing out from the back fine and switching the play, there was plenty of times where we'll get the ball into the fullbacks. The midfielder, usually either will be Fred on one side or Tommy on the other, will come to show, get the ball. The fullback makes the run on. It's been given. VAR decision given. Liverpool 1-0 up. The fullback will make the run to make himself available. We were passing out from the back fine. Of course, Chelsea's press was good, so at times it's not 100%. But we pressed well, especially in the first half. And then we also hit on, big up yourself, Shane. We were also playing on the counter-attack. So to suggest there was no system when in reality the system and the tactics weren't the problem. We can say yes, he could have brought on Van der Beek, could have done this, could have done that. Bruno had 2 or 3 opportunities to make that final pass in different stages of the game, didn't do it. And McTominay has to play a better ball across the area in the last minute to win. You can have the best system in the world, but if you can't play a 5-yard pass or a straight ball, that's not on the manager. So I'm not having that. Bro, what's the difference between our so-called system and City's? You mean arguably the greatest manager of his generation? Yeah, I expect Pep Guardiola to have a better system. I really do, because he's the greatest manager of his generation. To suggest that it's freestyle football tells me you don't watch the game. You're not watching the game. You went into it with a belief about how we play, how Solskjaer manages, etc., etc. You didn't watch the game, and you just came back and said, "Oh, there's no, it's just freestyle." When Luke Shaw and Rashford are linking up time and time again on the left-hand side, is that freestyle? Why is it freestyle? Because somebody said it's freestyle. If it happens over and over again, it's a system. It doesn't make no sense. If we always get to that, we make those many times. We made that straight direct pass right into the number 10, whoever was in that position, or into the striker, to then play a 1-2. We played, I think there was one between Dan James and Mason Greenwood that resulted in a shot from Mason Greenwood that went past the post. Those kind of direct passes into the man into the space, and those 1-2 at the edge of the area result either into the area sometimes, or obviously that time was outside the area, and result in a shot, a chance, a goal, whatever it might be, is a style of play. Now, whether you like the style of play or whatever is up to you. Whether the players execute it consistently enough, or with enough accuracy and quality time and time again, is a player issue. To suggest that we have no system, no style of play, is freestyle football, is I'm gonna say it's moronic. It's absolutely moronic. Even Moyes and Brendan Rodgers has way better system. I like the way that Brendan Rodgers generally plays football. Leicester play a lot of the football in the counter-attack. If we play on the counter-attack, everyone will be complaining, saying, "Oh, why are we just sitting back all the time?" I know in the big games we play on the counter-attack, but we don't do it all the time. Moyes is playing very well this season. But if we played like West Ham, you would be saying, "Why are we playing like this?" Watch West Ham's games. How much possession do they have? Both Rodgers and Moyes are doing very well with their teams. But to suggest that we don't have a style of play, and if you say theirs is better, that's a preference thing. It's a preference thing. We can't be settling for mediocre games. Listen, I always want better for my club. It's not about settling, but it's also about knowing where we are. When you've got a midfield of Fred and McTominay, and the other options is Matic and Van der Beek, who hasn't settled in very well this season, you're not going to control it. You're not going to dominate a midfield. It's just not going to happen. Chelsea actually have the choice of a Kovacic, Jorginho, who are much better passers than what we had available, and Kante, who's arguably been the best defensive midfielder in the world for years. Let me go over some of the other comments. Mohammed said, Ollie will prove that I was wrong. It's sad, shame he doesn't have credibility, but once the penny drops, I'm going to shout from the rooftops. And, that's a good point. Because I was watching something, I can't remember who it was now, and they were saying about building, and someone mentioned Klopp. Of course, Klopp came with a pedigree. We know what he can do because he did it with Dortmund. So you're willing to give him time to get his things into position, into play, because you know what it can yield. Because Solskjaer has no track record of this success, where all we're doing is living in hope that what he's trying to build comes out in the end. Even though we're seeing progress, anyone that denies that is a liar. Even though we're seeing progress, we don't know how the end looks because he's never proved that in the past. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still going to take time for a manager. Whether you know what's coming at the end or you don't know, whether you have faith in what's coming at the end or you have no faith, the fact remains that you still need the time. And the best managers has proved that you still need the time. We want to be in a title race. We want to be winning Premier Leagues. We want to be winning Champions Leagues. But no manager comes in and does that immediately. This is his second full season, and we've shown steady, evident progression from one season to the next. Facts. Smurf says, are you really satisfied with this football? I think we need to play better football. We 100% need to play better football. But in terms of what do you think the problem is, I think a lot of it's to do with the quality of those players. We play better football post Bruno than we do before Bruno. We play better football. Facts. What we were playing after lockdown, for example, factually better. What we were playing on, even when we were on that 13-game winning run, some of those games were a bit tighter. Yes, cool, but we played better football. Pretty much since the what's it called? The 6-1 defeat, we play better football. So it shows me that when you get better players in, you play better football. Is it ever going to be Pep style football? No, it's not. It's really not. But 100% we need better players because there is a system. And when you put better players into the system, football is better, results are better. I'm not even going to go into it anymore. Do I think a better manager could get more out of the players? Yes, but no manager could win us with a title with these players. That's it. Don Stitch, my bro Neeks, JLS days. Yeah, big up yourself, but I don't know who you are. Don Stitch, I don't know. Yeah, big up JLS in it all day, every day. If you know, you know. But I don't know who you are. But big up yourself nonetheless. But yeah, listen. We're second in the table. 12 points off City, so we're not even going to really speak about that. We are 6 points clear of fifth. We got Crystal Palace next. For me, must win. Because we win that game, and let's say we win the game on 9 points clear. Chelsea are playing Liverpool. If they draw, which I'll be praying for a draw. If they draw that game, then for me again, top 4, signed, sealed, and delivered. Oh, big up, Brown. Big up yourself. But yeah, if they draw that game and we go 8 points clear of Chelsea, 9 clear of Liverpool, then yeah, for me, top 4 is signed, sealed, and delivered. But we have to beat Palace. You know, we've had trouble against Palace recently, generally at home, but away from home we've had better results. But we need to make sure we go there and win. Have to. We can't afford to slip up in that game. Nomad, Donny not playing is on him. And if him being social doesn't listen, I want to see Donny playing more games. 100%. I want to see Donny playing more games. He has to do more. I think Solskjaer, there's also times when I think Solskjaer can just put him in. Solskjaer can put him in, trust him in, because some of the players can't do any worse at times. They really can't. I was happy with the team today, don't get me wrong. Can you bring him on to just maybe change something? I think you can. But especially today, I think Solskjaer has a remit. And Ed Woodward must have said to him at the start of the summer, you have to get top 4. So I think he's playing at times with a handbrake. I know you said it's on Donny, cool. But I think at sometimes he is playing with a handbrake on because his target is top 4. I hope next season Woodward says to him, we got to win that title. Not that if we don't win it, he gets sacked. But then you put in the minds of him, and therefore you put in the minds of the players, that a draw is not good enough. But right now, I'm not mad. I'll never be happy not to win. I'm never going to be happy, but I'm not mad. It is what it is. We move forward to the next game. We're in 2 cup competitions that we have a chance of winning. We're in a much better position this season at this point than we were last year. And as long as I keep seeing progression at a steady rate, then I'm content with the manager. I'm content with the players at the moment. But going forward, of course, the manager, the coaching, the players, the transfers, all of that has to improve if we're going to take the proper step to winning the major silverware. But listen, thank you everyone for tuning in. Smurf, listen, I respect all your statement, your comments. Even if I don't agree, I respect your comments. 100%. You're here, you're commenting, you're conversing with everyone, you're doing it respectfully as well, which I appreciate a lot. So whether we disagree, agree, this is what it's all about. But yeah, make sure you all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, we move on to Palace midweek, and then FA Cup against Leicester after that. So Again, the next couple of weeks are going to be big for Manchester United in all competitions. And hopefully we can get better results than we've got in the last two. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you lot soon.